Good afternoon and welcome to the Assembly Committee on Natural Resources. Before we get started, actually, I would like to wish the one and only Cheryl Williams a happy birthday. I believe it was Saturday. Sorry we missed it, but we could not succeed without you and all of the chips and other goodies that you bring us. So happy birthday, Cheryl. All right, so now we'll get started. I don't think we need to put that in the minutes unless Cheryl wants it. So, welcome to the Assembly Committee on Natural Resources. Will the committee secretary please call the roll?
Assembly members Considine. Present. DeLong. Present. Gurr. Here. Hanson. Here. Jackson. Here. Karras. Here. Kasama. Here. LaRue Hatch. Here. Marzola. Watts. Here. Chair Anderson.
And I am present. If you would please record Assemblymember Marzola present when they arrive. I want to welcome everyone to this meeting, those here in Carson City, whether they're in this room or again in 3142 for overflow, as well as anyone joining us in Las Vegas. Oh, we do have people, yay, and or Elko and listening online. On today's agenda, we have a work session and one bill hearing. Just as a reminder, before we actually get started, some housekeeping. First, again, some housekeeping announcements. Please silence all electronic devices while in the committee room. Committee members will be using their laptops to view handouts and exhibits. Please do not view this as a sign of disrespect or inattention. We expect courtesy and respect in our interactions during the meeting, even if we may not agree with another person's position. If you're presenting or testifying, please sign in at the table by the door and leave a business card with the committee assistant, also known as the birthday girl. All exhibits, amendments, or other meeting material must be submitted electronically to our committee manager by no later than 12 p.m. on the business day before the hearing. And we ask that you have 15 hard copies provided for members of the public. Proposed amendments also need to include the bill number, statement of intent, and your name and contact information. Finally, please remember that public comment will be taken at the end of the meeting, and each person will be limited to 2 minutes. You may also submit written testimony or public comment in writing up to 24 hours after the meeting. With the agenda items, they might be taken in a different order than those listed, and 2 or more agenda items may be combined for consideration. In addition to that, an item may be removed from the agenda or discussion of an item on the agenda may be delayed at any time. I would like to have the entire committee here for when it's time for us to do the work session. So we'll actually end with the work session today. But before we do that, I just want to make sure that everybody knows we are removing AB 165 from today's work session, and we will consider it next week to give some people a little bit more time to work on some amendments. All right. So, well, why don't we go into then, excuse me. Why don't we go to our bill hearing? I will open the hearing on Assembly Bill 405, which revises provisions related to agriculture. And Assemblymember Flanagan, excited to have you here and Natural Resources. And whenever you are ready, come on up with whoever you're working with.
Are we up? I don't see it on the slide. Usually it's on the screen when a slide comes up. We have a presentation and usually.
Do you have is it not coming up? There we go. I think it's happening now.
Go.
Because as soon as you say that there's a problem, that's the best way to fix it. It's ready to go. And nice job in matching the colors of your outfit too. Well done. Love the coordination.
I tried so hard today.
Whenever you're ready.
This day worked in so many ways. So, thank you, Chair Anderson and members of the Assembly Committee on Natural Resources. For the record, I am Tanya Flanagan, representing Assembly District 7 in Clark County. I am pleased to have the opportunity to present Assembly Bill 405, which enlists the Department of Agriculture to assist with the development of community gardens and urban farms and food deserts. AB 405 is a call to action for the state, not as a government entity, but as a collective body comprised of its thoughtful, intentional, strong, resilient residents who call Nevada home and embody the true meaning of Home Means Nevada to work together to impact food insecurity across our state where children, adults, and seniors suffer food scarcity daily. Most of us are fortunate to live a short drive away from a grocery store where we access a variety of affordable and healthy foods. Unfortunately, people who do not often rely on convenience stores or unhealthy options. The United States Department of Agriculture defines food deserts as communities that are low income and low access, meaning more than 1/3 of residents live more than a half mile to 1 mile away from a supermarket. In rural areas, that distance grows to 10 to 20 miles. Examples of community gardens and urban farms at work include Zion Urban Farm down in southern Nevada, where they have a 1.5 acre project with 64 irrigated raised beds, including 24 ADA beds, to provide residents with fresh food. Another example, Flint Street Farm here in downtown Reno, which was once a company's parking lot, and they converted it to a garden to help supply food to needy people around the area. The Food Hub in Fallon is another example, and the Latin Farms, which is nearby, supports the Food Hub, which offers people an alternative grocery store option where for $35 a month, they can get a basket of fresh food and also get a discount of at least 3% on the food that they do purchase. I also want to mention the UNR Master Gardeners Program and the Aboto Project down in southern Nevada, which made me fall more in love with this idea. I also would be remiss if I don't take this moment as a proud member of the sorority Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated to highlight my sorority sisters who are here today. We are the oldest African American sorority founded in the United States in 1908 on the campus of Howard University. And while they are here today in the audience supporting Alpha Kappa Alpha Day at the Capitol, they often spend their time volunteering in community gardens to help communities that are food insecure. According to the Nevada Department of Health and Human Services, as of 2018, depending on the criteria used, anywhere from 200,000 to 500,000 Nevadans live in food deserts. Over 90% reside in urban areas. Over the past few sessions, this body has enacted legislation seeking to address food deserts. We have authorized local governments to establish ordinances to use vacant or blighted city or county land or other property owned by the city or the county for the purpose of community gardening or urban farming. In 2019, we codified the Governor's Council on Food Security into law, whose duties include researching and developing recommendations on community gardens and urban farms. And in 2021, we enacted legislation to authorize a partial abatement of certain taxes for parcels on which a community garden or urban farm is located. We clearly, as a state, support community gardens and urban farms. However, our state does not have a program that directly addresses this issue head-on by standing up resources and a pragmatic way to address this issue. We have authorized local government to do it, we have created incentives for creation, and we have established a council and required the development of recommendations. But where is the role of the state in getting this done? Therefore, this bill does two things. First, it requires the director of the State Department of Agriculture to establish a program to assist in the development of community gardens and urban farms, specifically in food deserts, where we have high levels of food insecurity. And we just need to help, and we need to help people. And secondarily, it allows the director to apply for and accept gifts, donations, bequests, grants, and any other sources of money. So in closing, the benefits of urban farms and community gardens are numerous. Economically, turning vacant lots and abandoned structures into gardens and farms can increase property values. Environmentally, it can remove environmental hazards, improve soil quality, and reduce stormwater runoff. Culturally and socially, it provides an opportunity for people to connect. Health-wise, I think we are all aware of the health benefits associated with having access to fresh fruits and vegetables. And so, most importantly, urban farms and community gardens are a tool to address the food deserts that too many Nevadans are experiencing. And before I close, there was news that came out today that the President of the United States has decided to end programs that supply sort of the farm-to-table solution to needy communities, resources that were born out of the COVID pandemic. And so that's on pause, which means a lot of our communities which were getting food and access to food are going to find themselves even more in need. So I think this is a crucial time for us to take a great step forward in being proactive in eradicating some of the needs and addressing the needs of our community. I fell in love with expanding the idea of this project when I went by to visit the Aboto project, which is the project I mentioned in this presentation down in southern Nevada, started by partly by Tamika Henry. And it is just a beautiful example of what you can do to refurbish an older area by creating aesthetic improvements, a sense of pride, a place for children to come together, for seniors to work. As a matter of fact, my father is 86, and every day one of his greatest joys is going to the community garden in the neighborhood to help other seniors learn how to grow things and just to give themselves a sense of cohesion and community. So I hope that as you've listened to this bill, you'll see how it has so many benefits and can provide such a great resource to the community. And thank you for your time. And if you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them, as I am not a horticulturist or a master gardener, but I will do my very best to answer. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for bringing this forward today, when your sisters get to be part of it, and then also where we get a chance to celebrate our communities. Greatly appreciate the information. Before I open it up to the committee, actually, out of curiosity, when it comes to, just to make sure I've got this right, that the director may apply, but he does not force to. It is a decision of the director, is that correct?
I have had a conversation with the director, Mr.
And don't forget to say
Oh,
your name.
yes. For the record, Tanya Flanagan. I have had a conversation with Mr. Kokachia, and also Doug Busselman from the Urban Farms Federation. We've had some really strong and productive conversations, and he did say to me directly that he would support this. It would take him a minute to get it stood up properly, but to actually use it in a way where we are identifying food deserts and not just saying, if you have an idea and you can, good luck to try and do a garden, but to really begin the work to create a network that hopefully can reach across our state and address our rural areas as well as our urban areas. Thank you for that question, Madam Chair.
Thank you, and I think every once in a while, we might actually make people try to spell Gokachia's last name as a way to come in.
Kokachia.
to
I love
testify.
it though.
It's okay, I'm just
Kokachia.
kidding.
I do like it. It's great.
There are some of us that do know how to spell it. Thank you, Assemblymember Watts. So with that, you get the first question, Assemblymember Watts. Oh, never mind. Is there anybody that does have questions? Assemblymember Gurr.
Thank you for the presentation. Thank you, Chair. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a wonderful idea. But there are some issues in my mind that happen.
Okay.
Where are you gonna find the water? Who's gonna provide the water? Las Vegas has created some serious heat islands with the pulling out the grass and everything that's there. Where are you gonna come up with the water to do this? I have my own garden at home. I spend $300 or $400 a month to keep it alive. Where are you gonna come up with the water? Who's gonna provide that for these gardens?
Tanya Flanagan for the record. Thank you, Assemblymember Gurr, for the question. I cannot specifically answer. I could phone a friend and call the Water Authority up, but, and I might phone a friend, but I have had some conversation with the Water Authority, and while I'm not speaking for them at all, and I'll be happy to invite them to come up, gardens require less water than grass, for one, and then the drip irrigation process should make it a little bit more efficient. And I think also as we are smart and we look at what we choose to grow and where it grows, how much water is actually necessary to take care of that particular plant or tree or whatever the case may be to provide that food. I hope that to some degree answers some of your questions. If not, I am going to phone a friend. I'm a water expert.
I think that's a great idea, and I'd love to follow up with you, because I think that it's a great plan, and it could help with a lot of the heat problems in Vegas to do that. It's just that in Las Vegas, the evaporation on that, even with drip systems, are gonna be an immense problem. So whatever you can find to do and whatever I can help with, I'd be more than happy to.
Absolutely. I appreciate that support, and thank you.
Next up, Vice Chair LaRue Hatch.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you so much for bringing this. I, too, am very excited about the concept of this bill. I just wondered, you gave us the legislative history and the ways that we've tried to support these efforts in the past, but could you speak to what is the Department of Agriculture doing, if anything, to help support these food desert, urban community gardens or urban farms?
Thank you for the question, Assemblymember LaRue Hatch. Well, this legislation actually, and Tanya Flanagan for the record, this legislation actually requires the addressing of gardens in food deserts. Before, what we had created was, and today being AKA Day at the Capitol, I would be remiss if I don't make note of former State Senator Pat Spearman, who introduced a great bit of this legislation into law that is now here for us to pull from. It didn't require looking at food deserts, so it just was urban gardens or community gardens are great, which is why we can have a farmer's market in a more affluent area of town that doesn't necessarily address the need of needy neighborhoods and communities. So this actually would be the beginning of looking at food desert spaces specifically and intentionally. You're welcome.
Assemblymember Jackson.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for the presentation. This bill means a lot to me, especially with the Bodo Collective being in Assembly District 6. My question is, when we think of urban garden, we usually think of like a lot in the middle of a neighborhood and there's a garden. But I was wondering, does this bill also include hydroponic growing in urban areas?
Thank you for your question, Assemblymember Jackson. Tanya Flanagan for the record. It can, and the Zion Urban Farms project actually has a hydroponic component to it, which is part of an expansion, which I believe was a partnership with the city of North Las Vegas. So this is an opportunity for agencies and organizations statewide to work collaboratively to build this network throughout the state, wherever it is deemed to be beneficial. But yes, to your question.
Any other questions? Seeing none, thank you so much for the presentation, and I think we'll be ready to go on testimony on AB 405. Well done. As a reminder, please remember to clearly state and spell your name for the record. Testify in support if you support the bill in its entirety. Testify in opposition if you oppose even one small word of the bill, even if it's just, again, one small thing, but you agree with the rest. Testifying in neutral is not taking a position, it is just providing us with information. Please limit testimony to 2 minutes and try your best to avoid repeating testimony. There's nothing wrong with saying ditto. Please keep your comments to the substance of the bill, and call-in information can be found on the agenda. We will begin testimony in support of AB 405. We'll start off here in Vegas. I'm so sorry. We'll start off here. Whew, maybe that's where I want to be. In Carson City.
Hello, committee. Good afternoon. My name is Sheila Bray, representing the University of Nevada, Reno. We are just happy to come here today and support this initiative. A couple of the areas that we represent is Extension that does community engagement throughout the entire state. One of our large programs there is the Master Gardener Program that Assemblymember Flanagan had mentioned, and there's just so much that you can do in terms of education and resources for your community. And I'd be remiss if I also didn't mention Experiment Station, which is also housed at the university within our College of Agriculture. The focus is specifically on the research that can be done throughout the state, also in all the different types of environments that we do. We know that food security is a huge issue for our state, and we just thank her for bringing this bill and look forward to working with her in the future.
Good afternoon, Chair Anderson. Vice Chair, members of the committee, my name is Wesley Harper. I am the Director of Government Affairs for the City of North Las Vegas. The city is in support of this bill for the reasons very clearly outlined by Assemblymember Flanagan. It would be an asset to all of our community for there to be additional sources of food, as some of the food deserts that she mentioned do exist in our city. For that reason, we are in support. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Amanda Brazo, here on behalf of UNLV. We want to thank the sponsor for bringing this forward and just add our support to the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Olivia Tanager on behalf of the Sierra Club Toyabe chapter. For the record, we are in full support of this bill and appreciate the intent of the bill, specifically to address food deserts. As you heard the Assembly member state, there has been legislation to improve community gardens in the state, but this specifically looks at food deserts, and we're hugely in support of that. And I will note one thing to look at for water conservation is agrivoltaics, and I think you'll be hearing more about that later this session, but that's solar in gardens and farm areas, and it really helps with water conservation. So there are innovative technologies, there are innovative ways to save water, and we want to make sure that when possible, we're directing water towards folks who need it, towards food, and making sure that people can eat. So we really appreciate the Assembly member bringing this forward and fully support the bill. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Joseph Schmidt, SCHMITT. I'm a veteran. I call Reno, Nevada my home. I love this state, and I love this bill for two reasons. First of all, it's food security. 1 out of 5 kids that can't eat is not good, and the kids are our future. And if we're not giving them nutrient-dense foods and access to those foods, then their development is going to suffer, and the downstream effects of that is not going to be healthy for our state, for our economy, or for anyone. The second reason I love it is because I'm also the president of Help Save the Bees Foundation. I'm a beekeeper, and I think one thing that often gets overlooked is the effect of pollination from both wild pollinators and from managed bees like honeybees. Pollinators pollinate 1/3 of the food that we eat, and we're losing a lot of the pollination, a lot of the food for the pollinators to get access to. And so one of the things that we do at Help Save the Bees Foundation is restore habitats, native habitats, using a lot of native plants, and to give the bees and to give the other pollinators the food that they need to survive. And to your question, Assemblymember Greer, on the water, I think one of the issues is that the soil, like the ability for the soil to hold water. The better soil that you have, the more water it's going to hold. And so I think that that's one thing that we can look to try to improve the capacity to use less water, in addition to the drip irrigation and other strategies. So, thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and members of the committee. My name is Shane Piccinini, S-H-A-N-E, P-I-C-C-I-N-I-N-I. I'm with the Food Bank of Northern Nevada. We love community gardens. We love local agriculture. We absolutely love this bill. The biodiversity and community building that comes from community gardens just can't be overstated. So I appreciate all the work that's gone into this, and we ask you for your support. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair, members of the Natural Resources Committee. Harrison Epstein, Harrison Epstein. I'm a legal extern with the Clark County Public Defender's Office. Developing farms and gardens in areas facing food insecurity will benefit everyone. Food insecurity is often linked to theft and other survival-related criminal offenses. Clemson University found that a 1% rise in food insecurity caused violent crimes to increase by 12% in the area. Community gardens also provide greater social connection for everyone. They increase neighborhood cohesion and overall reduce crime. Stronger communities have lower rates of crime overall, and this bill will help bring communities closer together. Thank you.
Marco Rauda, M-A-R-C-O-R-A-U-D-A. I'm speaking on behalf of Green Our Planet. Green Our Planet works with over 400 schools with school gardens or hydroponic programs in 16 out of 17 counties here in Nevada, and also runs the biggest student-run farmers market in the country. We want to thank you, the chair, the committee, and also the bill sponsor for bringing this bill forward. Food insecurity is a real problem in both rural, suburban, and urban communities. So community gardens can help alleviate some of that insecurity. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. For the record, my name is Alexis Story, a special education teacher and a volunteer at one of the community gardens on the west side of Las Vegas. I'm here today in support of Assembly Bill 405 and its provisions related to desert gardens. In our communities, food insecurity is a harsh reality. Many families lack access to fresh, affordable produce, and the effects are visible. Higher rates of preventable illness, poor nutrition, and chronic absenteeism in schools. Food gardens offer a practical power solution. They not only provide healthy food options, but also create educational spaces that promote lifelong skills. As a special education teacher, I've seen how gardening supports students with diverse learning needs, improving focus, behavior, and emotional well-being. Children who typically struggle in traditional settings find success and calm in the garden. They become more engaged, more helpful, and even more open to try new healthy foods. These gardens teach responsibility, sustainability, and the value of self-reliance, tools our children need now and in the future. Supporting AB 405 means investing in community, health, equity, and education. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Ms. Jordan, could you please spell your name?
Alexis Story, S-T-O-R-Y.
Knew I had that wrong, so thank you so much. You may begin when you're ready.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. For the record, I am Tanisha Brandon, that is spelled T-A-N-I-S-H-A. Last name is B-R-A-N-D-O-N. I am here in support of Assemblymember Tanya Flanagan's proposed bill. As someone who works for a health insurance company and being in the healthcare field for 25 plus years, I understand that access to fresh fruits and vegetables can significantly reduce the strain on our public healthcare system. For individuals facing financial challenges, purchasing healthier food options often more expensive than your unhealthy or processed options can make it difficult to maintain a balanced diet, which also increases the obesity rates, which we all know that, again, puts more strain on the healthcare system. To address this issue, it is essential to explore alternatives such as the community gardens, and this will help to bridge the gap between affordability and access to nutritious foods. This bill not only promotes local food production, but also emphasizes the importance of community engagement and environmental stewardship, which I myself have taken advantage of working with the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority community involvement in the garden efforts in the local community gardens. Sorry. I have personally seen how this can bring the community together. I'm a relatively new member of the community, and them opening up their time and efforts to even ask me to join in has brought a sense of community, making me feel like I'm important to the community. So I hope that you all will be in support of this great effort, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. For the record, my name is Kathy Vonaraj. I will definitely spell that, V-O-N-G-N-A-R-A-J, from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm a real estate broker in Las Vegas and a proud volunteer at the community garden sponsored by the Theta Theta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. Community gardens are not just a passion project. They bring awareness to little pockets and opportunity zones. As a realtor showing homes in areas with more greenery, a potential homeowner sees a community garden as a thriving sign of engagement in that neighborhood. These are great selling points that help shift perceptions and bring investments back into historically neglected areas. In addition, I'm a first-generation Thai American citizen. My mother, who still cooks food from our homeland, speaks very little English with me. The only engagement I do have is when I do go to the community garden and I bring home 2 essential items from our homeland, Thai basil and lemongrass, things that I learned from 2 farmers at our local community garden. How amazing of this for her to get this in the desert and not have to go to a local market. This bill will help create vibrant, healthy communities and support professionals like me who are working to bring more families into developing and sustainable neighborhoods. Not only that, but I was able to learn about harvesting our own foods right at the comfort of our backyard or a community garden just steps away. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. For the record, I am Dr. Keisha Davis, psychiatric nurse practitioner and member of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, visiting for AKA Day at the Capitol. I am coming in support of AB 405. Several studies have shown a direct correlation between food insecurities and children's mental health. Some children only eat at school. After they leave on Friday, Many of them do not eat again until Monday morning, definitely contributing to food insecurities. Some of the impact of food insecurities include increased stress and anxiety, behavioral problems with the children in school, leading to academic difficulties, as well as social and emotional challenges. These challenges can have long-term consequences, also leading to significant problems in adulthood. Community gardens are one way to help tackle the obstacles of food insecurity. Participants are taught how to help grow healthy foods. They are then allowed to partake in the harvesting of the garden, allowing them to literally reap the food that they have sown. As the proverb goes, if you give a man a fish, you fed them for the day. However, if you teach them to fish, you feed them for a lifetime. Therefore, teaching our community how to garden, you're going to help feed us for a lifetime. I thank you for your time. Oh, I'm sorry. I need to spell it. It's K-E-E.
Don't forget, there you go.
K-E-E, S as in Sam, H as in apple, H as in Harry, A as in apple, Davis, D-A-V as in victory, I-S.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Valerie Lucas, V-A-L-E-R-I-E-L-U-C-A-S. And I'm the president of the Theta Theta Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. This bill is a critical step towards addressing food insecurity in Nevada. I am here today in support of Assembly Bill AB 405. Supporting community gardens and urban farms will allow residents of Nevada to grow their own fruits and vegetables, which will also equate to promoting sustainable agriculture and will help to improve overall public health in our communities. Community gardens will enhance nutrition, physical activity, as well as improving the quality of life for so many Nevadans. Community gardens offer tranquility to those community members that come out to plant and cultivate the vegetables as they grow. Communities will also benefit from eating the fresh, self-grown fruits and vegetables which have grown without chemicals. Community garden programs can assist with reducing food insecurities and improve dietary intake, which can assist with lowering cholesterol and reducing the number of community members with diabetes. Providing community gardens and urban farms to residents of underserved communities will give them the opportunity to grow their own fruits and vegetables, thereby increasing access and affordability. Access to nutritious food is a fundamental right, and AB 405 is a protective measure. I urge the committee to support this important bill. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. And before we go with everybody else that also wants to speak here in Carson, I'd like to go to the person in Vegas because we only have so much time. But please stay at the table. Hopefully there'll be enough time. So would the individual in Vegas like to also speak?
Good afternoon, members of the committee. My name is Chelsea Weininger, Chelseyweininger, Wininger, and I'm the interim director of advocacy at 3 Square Food Bank, which serves Clark, Esmeralda, Lincoln, and Nye counties in Southern Nevada. We are in support of AB 405 for all the reasons mentioned in Carson City. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Is there any, it's nice to see you again, by the way. Is there anybody else in Vegas that would like to come forward? Okay, we're actually going to go then to the phone line. AVH, is there anybody online that would like to speak in favor of 405?
To testify in support of Assembly Bill 405, please press *9 to take your place in the queue.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, and thank you so much, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Tamika Henry, Tameka Henry, and I am the Executive Director of the Abodo Collective. I'm here in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm submitting this testimony on behalf of the Abodo Collective. We're a nonprofit organization dedicated to eliminating multi-generational poverty in our communities, especially in the historic west side of Las Vegas. As part of our mission, we address food insecurity through our urban farm, our grocery store initiatives, and our food security programs. We strongly support AB 405, which recognizes the vital role that community gardens play in combating food insecurity. We are very thankful for Assemblywoman Flanagan for sponsoring this bill. As you know, in historically underserved areas like the historic West Side, access to fresh and affordable produce remains a persistent challenge. Community gardens provide a sustainable, community-driven solution that empowers our residents, creates local food systems, and enhances food sovereignty. I just want to say that I am in support of this bill, and I thank you all for your time.
Thank you. Next caller.
Caller with the last three digits 146. You are unmuted and you may begin.
Thank you. Thank you so much to the chair and the committee. My name is Zarina Washington. That's ZARINAWASHINGTON. And I am so excited to be here to show my strong support for this bill. I've witnessed firsthand the importance of community gardens and just how much it can empower a community. As a licensed social worker here in the state of Nevada, I've seen insecurity firsthand, and as a community member, I've experienced food insecurity firsthand. So having the ability to participate in community gardening and having that power in my own hands to provide food for myself and my family has been extremely beneficial. So I am in strong support of this bill. Thank you again for allowing this opportunity, and we hope that you continue to move forward with this endeavor. Thank you.
Thank you. Next caller.
Hello, my name is Tony Ortega, ToniOrtega. I am providing support for AB 405. I am a community garden coordinator for Paradise Park Community Garden, a project taken over by Reno Food Systems. I am also the farm manager for Flint Street Farm, the urban micro farm that was in Assemblywoman Flanagan's presentation. And previously, I was the co-founder of a 1-acre urban farm, Lost City Farm in Reno, Nevada from 2012 until 2016. So I've spent over 15 years in regenerative agriculture and urban farming, and have listened to everyone's testimonies in support of this bill. Because of time, I will say ditto. Firsthand, I've experienced what community gardens and urban farms can do to address food insecurity, support regenerative agriculture, and create more food equity for those in need, and also just foster a beloved community. So thank you so much for this opportunity. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Next caller.
Here, we have no more callers to testify in support at this time.
Thank you so much. So we will come back to Carson City.
Good afternoon, Chair and committee members. For the record, I am Leah Crawford, Leaha Crawford, CRAWFORD. I proudly support AB 405, and in consideration of time, I will say ditto.
I don't think the mic's on. That one's a little bit tricky. There you go.
All right, there we go. All right, good afternoon, Chair and committee members. My name is Kiba Creer, and the spelling is K-E-I, B like boy, A. Last name is C-R-E-A-R. And just for the sake of time, everyone has been so gracious to us this afternoon. We've enjoyed ourselves thoroughly here, and thank you for having us. And we just really applaud the Assemblywoman for her bill, and I just want to say ditto as well, just so that we can move things along for you. But thank you for having us today.
Good afternoon, Chair and members of the committee. My name is Tristan St. Denis. That's TRYSTINST.DENIS, and I am the Policy Associate for the Nevada Conservation League. We would also just like to say ditto.
Good afternoon. Is it on? Okay. Good afternoon, Assembly members. My name is Essie Williams. It is spelled E as in Echo, S as in Sam, S as in Sam, I-E, last name Williams. And I am in full support of Assembly Bill 405. And again, in the essence of time, we want to thank you for the opportunity to speak before you. I'm in full support of the bill that Assembly Member Tanya Flanagan has presented. I've worked personally in the garden, and to see the smiling faces of the children as they are planting their food, knowing that they have food that they can take home, they plant and pull, brings warmth to my heart. So again, thank you so very much for the time to speak.
Committee members, Annalise Porter, ANNALISE PORTER with Southern Nevada Water Authority and Las Vegas Valley Water District. Ditto, in the interest of time, we're in full support. A quick note to Assemblymember Gurr's question. Assemblymember Flanagan was correct in that drip irrigation to plants is far more efficient than irrigation to grass. We would anticipate no problems there. We can also, we're happy to offer irrigation consultations for these kind of projects if that would be something of interest.
You knew the question I was going to ask you, so well done. Thank you so much. All right, we see nobody else coming forward, testimony in support. Next, we'll hear testimony in opposition of AB 405. Is there anybody here in Carson City? Seeing none. Las Vegas, Elko, AVH.
To testify in opposition to Assembly Bill 405, please press star 9 or raise your hand in the Zoom window to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers choosing to testify in opposition.
Thank you. Next, we'll go into neutral. Is there anyone wishing to testify who is neutral on this measure? Here in Carson?
Good afternoon. Wendy Madsen, Healthy Communities Coalition. We serve rural Lyon and Story counties, about 35 miles east of where we sit right now. Clearly, community gardens are very popular, urban, rural, big, small, and everything in between. Healthy Communities Coalition has been addressing food security for over 20 years, operating 3 food pantries in Lyon County. And for about 18 years, we've been also engaged in the beautiful work of school and community gardens. So everything everybody has said, we have had the pleasure of witnessing and seeing the successes. I think another added value is that volunteerism and reciprocity, which we are losing quickly among our young population, and so it's something that is of concern. Community gardens are this beautiful space where it is just a natural layer of not only growing food, but also that social connection and that ability to give back. I'd also like to, one of our communities is in a designated food desert, 22 miles from the nearest grocery store one way with no public transportation. It is a real problem. We had a community garden, a thriving garden. Unfortunately, we had to move. It was adjacent to our food pantry, had to move it. So supporting these gardens is vital for this work. And I would just like to also acknowledge that food deserts, yes, this is important, but community gardens are important in every community. Our Dayton Community Garden supports our Silver Springs Food Pantry, with the food brought over, and engagement with those folks as well. Intergenerational, all the beautiful things that a community garden is. So I can't support, but I think you know I do. So thank you.
I was going to ask if you'd be okay if I moved you over to the support. However, your company, I understand. You've got a board of directors you've got to worry about, so I understand now the extra information you were just providing to us about how important the volunteering is. Got it. Okay. Anyone in Las Vegas who would like to testify in neutral? Elko? AVH?
Testify in neutral to Assembly Bill 405. Please press star 9 or raise your hand in the Zoom window to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers choosing to testify in neutral.
All right, thank you so much. That concludes testimony on this bill. Assemblymember Flanagan, would you like to make any closing remarks? I don't know if you've got a lot of support or not. Curious about that.
I will be quick. Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Assemblymember Tanya Flanagan, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the beginning of what I hope is a new beginning, and in some spaces, a continuation, because some people are here doing some really good work. I hope this is the beginning of a building block to create the statewide network, and I hope that we're successful. I know that together we can be. So thank you, committee, for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you for a wonderful bill presentation. All right, so next we'll move into, that concludes I will close the hearing on Assembly Bill 405, and we'll move into our work session, Assembly Bills 9, 40, and 80. As a reminder, it is not customary for the committee to take testimony or rehear bills during a work session, and it's okay if you need to leave. We're not expecting everybody to stay for this unless you really want to. However, I may invite the bill sponsor or witness to come forward to make clarifications on the bill or to answer questions during our consideration of a measure. Just as a reminder, we are removing AB 165 from today's work session, and we will consider that next week. So we'll actually start with Assembly Bill 9. Will our committee policy analysis please go ahead?
Thank you, Chair Anderson. Becky Peratt, Legislative Council Bureau, for the record. As a reminder, as nonpartisan committee staff, I can neither support nor oppose any of the measures that come before this committee. Assembly Bill 9 revises the current statutory timeframes allowed for the temporary conversion of agricultural water rights for certain purposes. The bill is sponsored by the Assembly Committee on Natural Resources on behalf of the Joint Interim Standing Committee on Natural Resources. Assembly Member LaRue Hatch, the vice chair of this committee, presented on the bill along with Mr. Kyle Rohrink from the Great Basin Water Network. It was heard on February 24th. There is an amendment to this bill, which is provided with the work session document. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Are there any questions on AB 9? Seeing none. Before we actually get started, I just want to thank the vice chair for the work that she put into it. I know that she had numerous meetings with different individuals. So I will entertain a motion to amend and do pass AB 9.
So moved.
And is there a second? Second. Thank you so much. I have a motion from from Vice Chair LaRue Hatch and a second from Assembly Member Karas. Is there any discussion on the motion? Assembly Member Gurr. DeLong. It's been one of those days. That's all I'm going to say.
Thank you for allowing me to move to Elko. Chair, I just wanted to let you know, given the scope of the amendment, I'm going to be a no on this. To me, it reads too much like a backdoor to providing conservation as a beneficial use, and I don't think we as a state have had enough policy discussion on that issue yet, so I'll be a no.
Any other conversations anybody needs to make?
So now I get to move to Reno?
Only if you're lucky. Oh, I don't.
Madam Chair, with the discussion that the new resident of Elko County had, I'm going to be in the same position. Thank you.
So thank you. So will all those in favor signify by saying aye?
Aye.
All those opposed, nay?
Nay.
Okay, so we have a nay from Assemblymember DeLong, Assemblymember Gurr, Assemblymember Karas, and Assemblymember, I'm sorry, Kasama. Ugh. I think I just need to give it, it's a Monday. And Assemblymember Hanson. It's the Monday-est of Mondays, all right? All right. So it has passed, though, with those present. I will ask Assemblymember LaRue Hatch to do the floor statement. Let's move on to Assembly Bill 40, whenever you are ready.
Assembly Bill 40 revises provisions related to mining and exploration reclamation, solid waste management, and the management of hazardous waste. The bill is sponsored by the Assembly Committee on Natural Resources on behalf of the Division of Environmental Protection. The administrator and deputy administrators for the division presented on the bill. It was heard on March 3rd. There is an amendment to this bill, which is provided with the work session document. Thank you, Chair.
I believe there was a request for you to be able to read that whole amendment to us. Never mind, word for word. And I have not allowed for that request to happen. So I will entertain a motion at this time to amend and do pass AB 40. Okay, motion made by Vice Chair LaRue Hatch, seconded by Assemblymember DeLong. Are there any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, nay. Great, it passes unanimously, and I will ask Assemblymember DeLong to deliver the floor statement. Our final work session today is Assembly Bill 80. Whenever you are ready to summarize.
Assembly Bill 80 establishes the Healthy Soils Initiative and Soil Health Advisory Board within the State Conservation Commission. The bill is sponsored by the Assembly Committee on Natural Resources on behalf of the Joint Interim Standing Committee on Natural Resources. Assemblymember LaRue Hatch, Vice Chair of this committee, presented on the bill along with Mr. Jake Tibbetts and Mr. Joe Frey. It was heard on February 19th. There is an amendment to this bill, which is provided with the work session document. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. And I was wondering if there's anybody here from the department. I didn't see anybody. I was hopeful. But nope, I didn't think so. I was hopeful because I think that one of the important things was the deletion of the appropriation, which I realized that the vice chair has worked very hard on getting that information about. But before that, are there any questions on AB 80? Seeing none, I will entertain a motion to amend and do pass AB 80. Now my microphone is on. I have a motion from Vice Chair LaRue Hatch, a second from Assemblymember Gurr. This time I got it right. Is there any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay? The motion has passed unanimously, and I will ask the Vice Chair to do the floor statement. All right. And now I believe we are on our last thing for today, which is the public comment. We will now start with public comment. As a reminder, members of the public can provide public comment in person, by phone, or submit written public comment to the committee's email up to 24 hours after this meeting. Instructions for providing public comment can be found on the agenda, including the call-in information. Public comment is not an opportunity to hear testimony on a bill. We also ask that you please keep your public comment to topics within the jurisdiction of this committee. I would also like to remind everyone that we encourage a clash of ideas, but we ask that individuals please refrain from personal attacks in this committee, and please try to limit your time to 2 minutes per speaker. Please remember to clearly state and spell your name, and we'll begin with public comment in the physical location of Carson City. Seeing nobody? Las Vegas? Elko? How about AVH?
If you would like to provide public comment, please press *9 to take your place in the queue. Chair, we have no callers choosing to give public comment at this time.
Thank you. That concludes our meeting for today, and our next meeting will be on Wednesday, March 26th at 4 p.m. This meeting is adjourned.